Hey everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. We in fact have no guest. The guests, you could say, are me and David.
Indeed. This is really more of a farewell, goodbye episode. And it's really just for the two of us. We don't really care about you guys. This is mainly just for nostalgia for us too. So bear with us.
Yeah, so, a quick shout out to all the people who have been listening since day one. It has been a ton of fun. I've made so many new friends, made so many new memories. Tornado Talk has been a blessing in my life these past 3 years, and I hope that I've been able to communicate some of that joy through talking to you guys every once in a while.
You remember when Dean Scholl made that joke about like the one senior prank where they brought the cow up to the learning center? No, it was up to the 5th floor, and the cow took like massive turds all over the floor, and they couldn't get the cow down.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just talking to you, right? That was one of my favorite memories of Tornado Talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's keep going. I'd say one of my favorite episodes man, dude, there've been so many good ones. Okay. Levi came on, Levi Lebovitz.
Yeah.
This is way back when.
Right. Back in ye olden days.
He played the guitar on the podcast.
What?
And it was insane.
Was it like an acoustic, or did he bring like an amp? Or?
I think it was an acoustic.
Okay.
And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because, he just pulled it out, and we didn't tell him. This was like on the spot. We said, bring your guitar, live podcast on the spot. We're just like, all right, start playing.
What did you play?
I can't remember. But it was incredible.
Oh, all right. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a memory that can top that. Hold on. That's pretty good. That's one of the ones that we've done that's like mind blowing. How like what?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Polaroid wall.
I got one. One of my favorite memories. We had Mala Sher, Mr. Murphy on.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
We had to cut so much of that episode because we went on probably a 30-minute tangent just talking about fantasy novels and Bryan Sanderson and like.
It was so good. And then we had to do Coach McKegg like pretty soon after.
And then we did the same thing.
We did the exact same thing. And it was like, oh man, we just love fantasy.
Well, they had to put it in the script, like for Mr. McKegg, like do not go on it. Like they put it in all caps in bold and underlined. Do not go on a tangent. We need to keep this under 20 minutes. And then we still went on a tangent.
Yeah. And speaking of the script, I don't think it'd be fair to have our last episode without inviting Jackson Cook, our longtime writer, to come hop on the podcast for a second.
Hop on,
so, Jackson, I know this is a bit of a surprise,
yeah.
And this is completely unscripted because Jackson, in fact, did not know this was coming. But I don't know, with just a couple closing remarks from you, Jackson. What's it been like writing script? I mean, you do tell us what your process is for those guys who just don't know.
I don't
know either.
So I think I've been able to kind of go back through this whole thing with Akil Gilroy, our new writer.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first script I wrote, it took me like 2 hours to write that whole thing. And now I'm able to do it in like 20 minutes. And so I think it's just you kind of get into this rhythm of getting to hear so many different guys, their stories, teachers, and just you realize kind of what things are going to be, kind of pull out the interesting responses from them. And which ones aren't. And it's been so cool to hear, stories from, guys like Aryan Patel even, who I've gone to school with since 6th grade and I've known pretty well, but I didn't know a lot of the things he shared in that episode. There are a million different examples of
Dancing till his feet bled.
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
Cool. It's just, it has been so fun to get to do something like that. Y'all have been, I don't think there are 2 other guys on this campus that would do a better job with this than y'all have. And I'm not just saying that, I swear. It's been really special. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that we've been a team this past year. It's been.
This is the only team I've known, so it's obviously the best one.
Okay, yeah.
You make the argument that's also technically the worst one, but I like to keep it on a positive note. Glass half full kind of guy.
Fair enough. Okay, we got one more question for you, Jackson, then we'll let you go. What has been your favorite episode to write and then to see come to fruition?
Yeah, that's a good one. Favorite to write was Dean Scholl, because I think there are, like with some of the guys on the board, I can ask them every day a lot of those questions. Kenny Scholl, you don't have, an opportunity to ask him some of those weird, specific, like favorite stories. How do you want to be remembered?
Yeah.
So that was just, a really cool avenue to kind of get to be able to ask him more difficult and challenging questions. And that was one of my favorite episodes. He gave it a really great response. Favorite to actually listen to, the Rims one was really fun. Yeah, that was, and Tommy. Oh, God, it's hard to pick Tommy or the Rims. Those guys. That one, it definitely took some work to edit the Rims episode.
Yeah, definitely.
But that one was just a lot of fun, and especially how well y'all know both of them. It just made it really fun, really naturally flowing conversation. And there just have been so many great ones on there. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll speak to, Tommy's episode. I've never seen a man come into the studio with so much swag and so much confidence. Similar to Levi's, we asked Levi to play the guitar on the spot. Yeah. We asked Tommy to sing on the spot.
Sang. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful moment.
It was incredible. I've really never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, he's got pipes. Yeah.
To this day, I think he still has the best Polaroid that we've taken on the wall.
Without a doubt. Like
he looks so good in that one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For all the listeners, for each one of our guests, we do a special thing. So right after the show, we take a Polaroid of them and we put them all up on the wall and we have them sign it. And that way we get to see and remember every single interview that we've done together.
Yeah.
And I think it's really powerful. I really like it because then you look back and then you remember, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff. Tommy started singing. Arian's talking about how he danced until his feet bled. Hugh, because he's got that dog. And all these awesome stories that we've done. It's so much fun.
Luke Gilbert and Nathan Smart was a hysterical episode because those two just have, Luke has such a good sense of humor, but it's so dry.
Oh my gosh.
And Luke, so at the time, Luke and Nathan were roommates in Presley. They were Presley RAs. Let me just say, they came on the podcast, they were it was either they were super on or they were super off. And so they'd either be awkward and not really say a lot, or Luke would make some hysterical joke and Nathan's super relatable laugh. How do I say it? Help me out here.
Relatable?
Not
laugh?
really relatable.
Contagious?
Contagious laugh.
Those are not the same word at all.
I was trying to think of it
very different meanings.
Whatever.
I can relate to his laugh a lot.
Yeah, okay.
What?
Okay, I get it. Anyway,
this doesn't make sense.
Nathan's contagious laugh, and it'd just be hysterical, and then the next thing you know, me and Jacob would just be dragging along the conversation because they were just both so dry.
Not say anything.
No. They wouldn't give details. It'd be like. So tell me about being a Press RA, and Luke would be like, it's good. And then he'd look at you with that little look that was funny. You should laugh. And you're like, no, great times. Well, yeah, thank you, Jackson. Thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah. Thank you all. It has been just so fun to get to be a part of this. And I'm just really sad to see it go, but also, excited that we've been able to record so many really awesome episodes and stories. So I'm glad to have done that with y'all. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Well, thank you. If you don't mind, could you give your headphones to Mr. Roberts?
Oh boy.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts, come on.
If you wouldn't mind.
Come on up here. We've got some closing questions for you. And don't worry, Ethan. You're going to be up here next. No need to give me that salty look anymore. Mr. Roberts, is this your first time
ever on the podcast?
In front of the camera, behind the mic?
Yeah, it is. That's right. If you feel nervous, that's natural.
So you have seen the podcast grow from day one, silly sophomore Wes, senior Elijah, Zion Wen with this dream. And I don't want to say it's blown up, but things have just kind of started growing, and now we're on episode 40. What's it been like watching something that you've put so much time and effort into grow from this little idea to now I don't want to say frequently listened to, but relatively popular podcast on campus?
I'd say it's very popular, personally.
I'd say that's fair, yeah. I would say, honestly, the credit does definitely go to Zion Wen. He was the one who really came up with this concept. But McCallie is a place that is really unique in the sense of we adapt to the guys that are here. And so when an idea is pitched, I've seen this so many times where guys are like, hey, let's have this club, let's have this. And McCallie's like, let's make it happen. They give the funding for it. McCallie funded this room we built, right? They created all these things. They created the space for you guys to take it over. And all we had to do was find the best guys for the job. And Wes, you were one. David,
Yeah.
going back to Jacob and Elijah as well. It's been an awesome team, and I'm excited for Eben and Bobby going forward.
100%.
They're gonna do a great job too.
100%. I'm actually so excited to see what they do with it.
I can't wait to finally listen. You know,
yeah, those are two really driven guys who I think will really take this podcast places.
Both of them were so stoked. I mean, you just like look at their face, they're like, "Oh my god!" when they walk in the room.
Yep.
I think it's so exciting.
It's very exciting. Okay, this is kind of a random question. I remember back when me and Jacob did the podcast together, we had our pictures created, and then this year when me and David did the podcast together, we had another picture created.
Yep.
Who's making the picture next year?
So I was thinking about this. There's this whole like AI movement right now. The AI illustrations. Maybe we go with an AI illustration. I don't know. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That sounds super cool.
But like, what's the style? Are we talking like caricature? Are we talking cartoon? Or like?
I think in like a superhero type, or not even superhero, but comic book maybe.
Yeah, comic book.
Yeah. Fantasy. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it.
Whoa,
fantasy.
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Can we get a me and David another print fantasy style? You know what I'm saying?
This actually is done by a student, and there's actually some guys that do fantasy art too at Macaulay. So I like keeping it in house. It's kind of cool. But the AI thing crossed my mind the other day. We'll see what we got.
That'd be an interesting avenue to explore a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Roberts, question for you. If you were to choose one podcast to like relive for the first time again, you were here to witness, which one are you choosing?
I'd go Tommy.
Yeah.
I think Tommy, for the listeners, Tommy's we just call him the pizza guy, but he's the guy who makes pizza in the dining hall. That's how everybody knows him. But we were able to bring him on the podcast. And like you said, he came in with all this swagger, but like he dropped like some really, really thoughtful takes that like you might not think that he would typically, like you give him a fist bump and that's like your relationship with Tommy, right? For most people. Yeah. But we brought him in and he was able to talk deeply about his life and his formation and like concepts for us. Like it was just really cool how we got to a deep spot with him. I think it's exciting to see us go deeper with guys that typically everybody knows on the surface. I think Eben talked about that last episode a little bit. Yeah. We know guys on the surface, but you guys have been able to dive deeper with a lot of people that maybe just would never have that conversation otherwise. Yeah.
And I'm going to do a little plug for Tommy here. Yeah. Tommy has a t-shirt business. So if you're a student and you want a custom t-shirt made, I had one made. It has the Kids Mac Miller album on the front, and then it says West 2023 on the back.
Probably the toughest t-shirt you've ever worn.
It is probably the toughest t-shirt I've ever worn. So I would just encourage you to go say hello, maybe talk with him a little bit about that. He's super passionate about it. It's one of the things that me and him talk about a lot. So, go inquire.
Dude's an artist.
Inquire.
I mean, he's talked about that a lot. Like he's an artist in the way that he shapes his life, the way that he makes the t-shirts. He said it even factors into the way that he makes his pizzas every single day. I thought that was fantastic. That was cool. One of my favorite parts.
It's a testament to like doing everything to the best of your ability, right? That's kind of a biblical way of looking at it too. But yeah.
All right, I've got another one for you, Mr. Roberts. If you recall, there's been this is kind of like a Tornado Talk trivia. There was one guest we had on the podcast, and it was not during David's time here.
Oh, okay.
But he had the most contagious smile, the best laugh, was absolutely just like a ball of joy and energy. Name that guest.
I already know who it is.
I mean, Daniel Anderson.
It's got to be
one of the most joyful people to ever come through Macaulay. I mean, that was an amazing episode, but also it was probably a little bit hard to listen to because there was so much laughing. Like it was just like laughing nonstop.
Me and Jacob could not breathe because it was so fun.
And like I loved it, but like as a producer, I'm like, okay, we got to get some content here.
Cutting like everything. It's a 3-minute.
Okay. Here's another one.
That's what's awesome.
What was like the biggest surprise during that episode that was I personally think was phenomenal content?
I believe it's that Jamaica does not have Walmart. Is that
Jamaica
correct?
doesn't have Walmart. Jamaica.
I think Nerf guns.
Nerf guns.
It was
no Nerf guns.
Walmart. That's what it was.
And it might have been no Legos too. I think we might have asked that one after the Nerf guns. I don't know. No Walmart, no Nerf guns, no Legos.
Bringing that up with the Jamaican Ministry of Defense.
He was always excited to come to America because he could purchase those.
Yes,
he could play with Legos.
No, that's exactly what he said.
That's a valid reason. I love Legos.
It is. I was all for it.
We got a Batmobile on my desk, and then Boba Fett ship as well. All Legos.
Hey, well, I just want to say thank you guys before I get off here because I'm not supposed to be on this. But you guys killed it. David, your application, obviously. Wes, he had a shoe in because he was picked off the street somehow.
Yeah.
But you coming on last year, I mean, it was tough to replace Elijah. It was tough to replace Jacob. It's going to be tough to replace you. So thank you guys. And obviously, Wes, that goes without saying for you. It's been awesome, man. It's been crazy. It's been a 3-year run, and hopefully this goes on for many more years.
I hope so. It's going to be weird listening to it now. It's going to be really weird.
Podcast is in good hands. So.
Hopefully it's a way to keep you guys connected. I think that's a cool thing too.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, I don't know. Talk to Jacob about it, and I bet he listens every once in a while. We know somebody.
Yeah. I've got an idea for a new segment. I think we should start a Macaulay gossip segment.
Macaulay
so
gossip.
I can, because I'm trying to be able to listen in next year and hear about all the drama, what juniors were doing this and all, whatever. How my freshmen are doing,
all of them are expelled.
Yeah, all of my whole hallway is expelled. Whew. Love to see it. Ellison Lord's gonna be rocking it.
Oh my gosh!
In the talent show next year.
He's gonna kill it. I can't believe he didn't win.
Whatever.
I'm biased.
It's been rigged since the beginning. We need to talk with Miss Gaffney about that.
Indeed.
But that's what it is. All right. Well, thank you,
guys.
Mr. Roberts.
Finish it off. Thank you very much.
Of course. And time for a last
guy
quick,
from the booth.
Last guy from the booth. We gotta be quick because we're running out of time here. But Ethan Met, you have been behind the scenes for quite a while now. To be honest, I'm going to shoot you straight here. I really don't know what you do. But I know you're part of the team and you've done a lot of things because everyone talks about it. But could you tell us what you do?
So I started sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I approached you first and I said it would be cool to be part of the team. I don't know what they're looking for, if they're looking for anything. And you talked to Mr. Roberts, and next thing you know, I became the editor. So Zion would send us the edits that he wanted made per episode, and I would take the audio and cut it up and then send it back to Mr. Roberts to clean up and post. And then Jackson took over for Zion, and that made my life a lot easier because Jackson likes to leave the authenticity of it, and I really appreciate that because I think it really makes the podcast great. As well as Josh Chin and I on our Instagram started doing Man on the Street. It was just something that I saw on Instagram one day, and I was like, that would be hilarious. Josh and I were both interested in creating content like that, and just creating content that was comedy, and we just went for it.
It definitely happened. I can't say that it was funny, but it did happen.
It did happen.
I'm kidding. It was pretty funny.
Especially
it was pretty good.
But it died. Why did it die?
Why did it die?
What happened? Did you not want to do it anymore?
Josh graduated. I got super busy with a bunch of stuff.
You got promoted and got really busy around
did.
More
the
responsibility.
School.
Yeah, I ended up interning with the communications department, being the photographer for football and a bunch of other sports.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's definitely something that I wish we could have kept going. And I know some of the freshmen this year did an episode or two. So I hope next year that they can really bring that back and bring back the flow of content on Instagram.
Our Instagram content's where it's at,
That's right.
At the Tornado Talk
At
podcast.
the Tornado Talk podcast.
Shameless plug.
Just so you know, I'm gonna say it at the end of the episode.
You have to say
for
it
the
at the end
last
of the
time.
episode.
It's gonna be really sad. I'm probably gonna start crying. At the Tornado Talk podcast. Let's go listen to it. Well, yeah. Thank you for all that you do. I know you don't get a lot of recognition or credit for it.
Yeah, that's why I make the travel announcements.
Fair enough. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Ethan.
Yeah, I appreciate everything y'all have done. Watching it gone from Wes and his pink pajama pants,
which I still have.
He still has them. He still wears them.
I will say this till the day I get kicked off this podcast, which is in 5 minutes. I want Tornado Talk pajama pants.
Oh my God, that'd be so
I have
tough.
been on Mr. Roberts for this for 2 years now, and they got to happen. I think I might just have to take it to Headmaster Burns.
Yeah,
dude, imagine. You get a blue and you get gray, and you do a plaid sequence for. I think plaid. Okay, hear me out.
No, but I want the logo on it.
Yeah, I'm saying you get the logo on it too.
So plaid with the logo on it.
Plaid with the logo on it. What do you think? Can you imagine that in your head?
That'd be cool.
That's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but
I'm here for it.
Well, it's perfect representation of what the
on.
podcast is. We got a lot going on right now. Come on, we're talking about it's fast. Come on.
And the pink pajama pants already have a lot going on them.
See,
that's true. So what if we do pink Tornado Talk pants?
Pink tornado.
That's like
that idea.
a tribute to the old Tornado Talk.
Yeah, I like that.
And,
Mr. Roberts, make that happen, please. Thank you.
I also want to say, David.
It's that easy.
We got people that.
David as well. You've done phenomenal this year. I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen because we were kind of like, do we want 2 seniors being the hosts?
Yep.
Especially 2 seniors who are best buds.
Yay!
Whee!
But
Buddies.
I watched your interview with Mr. Roberts and along with the other ones, and it was a sell from the first time I saw it. I was like, that is our next host, and I actually made the executive decision for Mr. Roberts that David was going to be our next co-host.
I think the thing that sold it was all of the sound effects that I put. I edited it myself in iMovie, and I put in all of these sound effects and like transitions. I put like the Batman like da-na-na-na-na-na,
Yeah,
like,
I was supposed to say,
forth.
no diss on Bobby and Eben, but David still has the best Tornado Talk application that we're yet to
phenomenal.
see.
It was phenomenal. Well,
It's one of the things I've never been able to do.
Edit an iMovie?
No. Tornado Talk application.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
thank y'all for everything and how far you've taken this podcast has been fun to watch.
It's been fun to do it alongside you, Ethan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, now, man.
That's just the 2 of us.
Now it's like back to 2 of us.
I got one for you. Wes. I got one for you.
All right. Hit me with it.
Let's expand it beyond just this podcast, beyond just this room, these 4 walls. You know what I'm saying?
Speak.
Choose one memory from Macaulay that you get to keep. Everything else fades away.
What?
What one memory do you keep?
You are a horrible person.
I know, but you still got to answer the question, dude.
That's a great question.
I know. I'm an interviewer. That's what I do.
Just so you know, you're going to have to answer the same question. So be thinking.
All right,
And whichever
okay.
one of us finds an answer first can talk first.
I'm still thinking on it. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. I would go with my like favorite story from Macaulay.
Oh yeah,
Which you know is the Hugh prank one.
Of course.
But I feel like it doesn't have enough of my friends in it for it to be like, because like my ideal memory from Macaulay would be one where all of my friends are there.
Yeah.
Man, so many to pick from. Maybe like a football state championship when all of us are there. The school is kind of united behind one team.
Yeah.
But there's so many more fun. Oh, it's gotta be a dance.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a dance.
Yeah.
Which dance is the question?
Are we talking Stuco? Are we talking silent disco? Prom? Big one?
Prom was okay. I will say I had a lot of fun at this last prom.
Yeah.
Stuco was good this year.
You listen like 15. You just give me one. Just give me
Dude,
one.
there's so many. Can I just say dances in general?
No.
Can I keep
that's
all the
way
dances?
No, you can't do that. It's so lame. That's a total cop out, man.
Man. Okay. Kyokayo this year was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of dances where like I've interacted with all of my friends the most.
Yeah.
Like Stuco, I was kind of, I don't want to say like just in my own bubble on the dance floor, but like, I don't know, I wasn't adventuring as much.
You were definitely in your Duffy, that's for sure.
Yeah. I remember I did a little video for Mr. Roberts,
I
which
do remember
I'm
that. That was
pretty
hilarious,
sure he
yeah.
probably deleted and was like, I can't use this. But yeah, okay. Just because I can't think of a specific dance, I'm just gonna say a dance. One of the dances we've done, they've all been so much fun. Oh, dude. Okay, prom last year. Prom last year was an absolute blast. We had fireworks afterwards, which was insane.
I was on prom planning committee, man.
Yeah, no, y'all did a great job. And prom this year was a blast too. The property was so much fun. Just being able to hang out with my friends like the whole night.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun, but not everyone was there, so.
I know, it's tough.
Yeah. What about you? You lose all of them. That's what
the
sucks.
hard part.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
you only get
I
one
lose
memory.
everything else.
This
Like,
is a standard Mystery Givens question. I posed this one and he's like, "Whoa, that's a good one." I'm sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a new one.
Yeah.
A chapel talk.
I was gonna say that's my favorite memory
I was gonna say
because everybody was there.
This might people are gonna flame me for this, but I might like I kind of want to say your chapel talk.
That's your favorite memory of Macaulay?
Well, because all of us were there.
That's my favorite.
and-
But I want to know why it's your favorite.
All of us are there, and with your parents. Man, I don't want to diss your parents. Your parents are great. I love them.
They
so
were on
much.
FaceTime. They were technically
Yes,
there.
they were. They were on FaceTime, but they weren't present in the building. They live very, very far away, and we had just seen them 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
So like our whole friend group took up the family row,
Yeah.
and it was just like us with your twin Gordon watching you do your thing, and it was just like a moment of group unity. And it was like one of my, I'm tearing up. It was one of like the last chapel talks I'm going to see.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, it was just so special. And then like hugging you afterwards, like that's something I'm going to miss is chapel talks. And like, I don't think you can understand like the feeling I had watching you do such a great job.
Getting my Duffy, getting my zone.
Yeah. Like it was like a proud father, younger brother. It was okay, like a proud father combined with a proud younger brother of like, that's what I aspire to be. And I'm so proud, but also I've seen you grow up.
Right.
And like just see all of that come together. It was just, it was pretty emotional.
My answer seems so lame compared to that. I was just going to say, like, I really like getting hugs from everybody on the way back because it was like, yay, hugs. And I got like, however many guys lined up right after the chapel talk. That's that's like a good Macaulay tradition. It's like the hugs.
That is.
And the dap ups after the chapel talk.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite Macaulay tradition and make it unique? One we haven't heard on Tornado Talk yet.
I mean, people always say like Duck Day or like Quacking in Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's not my favorite. My favorite's got to be, and it's an abstract concept. I really like the sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, you could say it's traditional. Well, it's not an event. It is everywhere, all at once. Like everything, everywhere, all at once. But it's true. I mean, it's like an integral part of the community. It's like, whereas other people, if you're not a part of Macaulay, you might not get it. I mean, if you listen to a conversation as like an outsider between two Macaulay dudes, it sounds like they despise each other. They hate each other's guts.
It's true.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's like,
oh my goodness, yeah.
It's like the brotherly love, but not even that. It's just like you are so sarcastic and so dry all the time.
David, that was literally the worst ever possible Macaulay tradition to ever think of.
Shut up, Wes.
That
You're
was
stupid.
atrocious.
See, it's part of it. It's part of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's everywhere. And at least like, it always makes me smile because I know that like, all right, if this guy can feel like he's sarcastic with me, then like, and we got a special connection there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What was it? Dean Scholl said something about like the only people that you can be sarcastic with are the people that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm sarcastic with everybody on campus,
you love everybody.
right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite tradition.
That's real.
Coming back at you.
Okay, I've got two, but they're kind of connected.
All right.
And I'm going back to chapel, which I don't want to keep bothering you with chapel, but I'm going back to chapel. I think one of the most special traditions Macaulay has, and arguably one of the best, is friends of the speaker sitting in the front row.
Yeah.
I think having that support group and seeing everybody that's got up on stage has had their friends in the front row. And that, I think, it truly is a testament to the fact that people don't fall through the cracks. Like, the kid speaking, I might not know his name. I might not know who he is, and we're in the same grade. But that front row is full.
Yeah.
Every time. And it just shows that there are so many different communities within this one big Macaulay family. And I think that's just so special that no one is alone here. I don't know. My other one is Dean Scholl. And this one's a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
But Dean Scholl playing the villain, I think, is
hilarious.
It is priceless. I can do this because I'm about to graduate, so I can like spoil things for you guys, and because Dean Scholl's stepping down. But apparently he thinks the quacks are hysterical, and he's fakes the like anger every time.
Because every single time.
That's what I've heard from an inside source, is that
inside source.
yeah, inside source. He thinks it's super funny and he loves it, but he has to play the villain, and so he gets up. Yeah, he gets up and like, gentlemen, know when to do it and know when not to do it.
And then after he lands this like super heavy, like, oh no, he's really mad. You'll have that one guy who just can't take it. And it's just like dead silent. Just hear, and a dead silent.
And then Dean Scholl just like stares.
Stay in my office.
It's like, gentlemen, there will be no Duck Day this year if you continue the inappropriate quacking.
Yeah.
Nah, man. There's so much going on here that's so good. Man, dude. We've got, for those of you listening, this is going to get released in a minute from now. It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
But we are recording on our second to last day.
Tomorrow's our very last day of
Tomorrow's
school.
our very last day of school. I'm taking an exam in the morning, so I actually only have one class tomorrow. And that is a lot to take in.
Right? One class left.
We've been here for 4 years.
I spent 4 years of my life in this like in this place.
Yeah. I mean, I've grown like 8 inches since coming here.
I think I've stayed the exact same size. I've not changed a bit. It's so disappointing. I was so stoked came in freshman year. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get super tall, super buff. And I'm just like, same thing. 4 years.
You're pretty buff.
Oh, I know. I'm buff.
Don't sell yourself short.
Check out the YouTube if you want to see what I look like. That's fun.
That's
cool.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's been
YouTube's
a journey.
Skyrocket after that one. Anyways.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I guess let's close the episode with the same question that we ask everybody.
Let me get you first, Wes.
Okay.
If you were to give advice to younger students at Macaulay, just one piece of advice, what are you telling them?
Man, dude, I hear so many good answers, and it's like
you gotta live up to it. Man.
I know it's weird to have to answer, and I want to be original, which honestly I don't have to be.
You don't have to be. Just be true. Just be honest to who you are, man. Come on.
Yeah, I would say the biggest piece of advice to people coming in is don't be afraid to be different. We talk a lot about, buying in and being embraced in the Macaulay community and how you should come and, jump right in. And I think a lot of times, and I've seen this a lot, like with my freshmen and with younger guys, people are so scared to be different in some way and to, have some, like, if you're on a hallway and everyone there plays like a certain sport or everyone's an athlete and you're not, it's really easy to shy away from people because of differences.
Right.
And I think if you come into Macaulay with this mindset of I am unashamed that I am different, you are going to jump right in and have a great time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, yeah, it's something that I've noticed this year, especially being in a dorm with younger guys.
Yeah.
They're really judgmental.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
The younger you are, I think the worse it gets. And one of the biggest things that changed from the beginning of their freshman year to now the end of their freshman year is how comfortable they become with themselves. Like, there are guys who are passionate about government and music or sports or video games, and they've all come together on one hall, and it's just been incredible to watch. And the biggest reason is because they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, guys haven't tried to change who they are to fit in. And I don't know if you can find that at a lot of other schools where you don't have to change who you are.
You kind of lose a piece of yourself to try and get accepted.
Exactly.
And then,
So don't let go of who you are when you come here. Be true to yourself and, be genuine. All right,
I think you lived up to it. I think that was very solid.
David, hit me with it.
All right, I got it. All right. I think it was certainly true for me, and I know that it's true for a lot of the other guys here, and I think, frankly, guys everywhere our age. I mean, there's a lot of pain. I mean, everybody suffers so much. I mean, you get like social pressure. This time in our lives from when you're like, I don't know, like 13 to like 18.
Yeah.
It is a compactor. I mean, it's like that scene in Star Wars. Like, you're getting crushed this whole time, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy to fall into this sense of like self-hatred, depression, because it's just the world is too much.
Yeah.
I felt like that was really true for me. The thing that helped me out of that, and I think what Macaulay helped me so much with, is in order to help yourself, you got to help other people. And it feels counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really true for me when I came to Macaulay. I was like, the way that I got out, like the deepest, just like, of my whole life, wasn't about focusing on myself. It was about focusing on the external and helping as many people in as many ways as I could. And then when I looked in the mirror, I was like, you know what? I like the dude that's staring back at me.
Wow.
Help yourself by helping others.
That's deep.
I'd say that's my advice. If you're feeling any kind of way, I mean, don't get, that is not an excuse to just be like, nah, I'm not fixing my own problems. Like, no, deal with your stuff. But like, if you want to help yourself, look to other people to help you. Yeah. And what Macaulay does is they surround you with guys who were always willing to do that, mentors who are always willing to do that, to be those people, like be those people in your life, to be the people, to be
Life.
I almost had it, and it was going to be so smooth and so profound and so impactful, and I just totally lost it.
It's okay. We've all been there. Just another bunch of pain to add to your life.
Indeed. Oh, man. I will say, a rising tide lifts all boats. Macaulay is that place. You're surrounded by guys who will make you better, and if you help those guys, they'll help you back. They'll help you right back.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
To add to that, just because thought of another thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. Don't be afraid to accept help.
That's a big one.
And I'm not saying that's different from don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is different. You can ask for help and still not accept it. Like I can know that I should ask for help and go and ask a teacher for help, but if I'm not wanting to be helped, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So just be open to help.
I like that too.
You don't have to do everything yourself. And I struggle with that a lot. I have an extremely large ego. I'm not the most humble guy you've met. I've been known to call myself the Emperor of Humility, that's funny. You can laugh at that.
That's fun. I like that.
But one of the things I've struggled with is being open to help, and also accepting when I'm wrong. So I would say the prideful guy I am to people coming into Macaulay, and even guys who are still here, you're wrong sometimes. I am wrong more often than not, and I'm really bad at seeing it, and it has hurt relationships with others. So it's okay if you're wrong, and accept help. When you ask for it, be ready to accept it. So
I thought of another one too.
hit me with it.
I feel like this last bit is just us giving advice. Like it's just an advice session.
We're trauma dumping right now.
Yeah, no, seriously. Robert's just gonna cut all this.
Yeah.
I'd say patience is key.
Mm.
An idea that I think my mom told me that's really stuck with me is that nobody wakes up in the morning wanting to do a bad job. Right? So if you can remember that about everybody that you see in your life, when you get frustrated, when you're just like, oh my God, I get that way when I'm like, when somebody doesn't perform the way that I want them to, when they're just like, when things aren't clicking for me and I really want them to, I just remember, like, hey, they didn't wake up wanting to do a bad job.
Yeah.
Like everybody's trying their best, and I have to accept that, and I have to accept that I'm trying to do my best too, and we can all work it out together. And I think that you just take a deep breath, you're like, and you chill.
Yeah. Wow. We can't keep talking. We've gone way over. Yeah, I guess to close, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who's been listening for the past 3 years. Another shout out to everyone who's been behind the camera, behind the mic. The last couple of years, it's been a lot of fun. I feel like my life has really been touched by this group and being a part of this podcast.
I feel like so much of me is just like, I'm grateful to the stories that I've heard, the people that I've met, and just like truly met doing all these interviews. The experiences that I never would have gotten if it hadn't been for this program. To all the guys who helped with the program, who never get the credit they deserve, thank y'all so much. Y'all deserve the world.
Final piece of advice, don't be afraid to let things go. And that is how we're going to close this episode, the final episode for 2 washed up senior co-hosts. Thank you guys. And for the last time ever, my favorite shameless plug, go follow us on Instagram at the Tornado Talk Podcast. I won't be on there anymore, but it's still kind of cool.
You guys are doing a good job. Join us next season. More interesting stories, hilarious people, and fun times
on Tornado Talk.